Welcome back. It is your favorite SOS Prevention Coordinator, Shantae Stevens, all up in your screen. And thank you for joining me in session 3 of Be a Star. Yes, we halfway through. Now, let's do a little recap from last session. What did we learn? We learned about emotional intelligence. What is that? That is being smart about your feelings, using our thinking to inform our feelings, using our feelings to inform our thinking. We also learned about the acronym RULER. So that is recognizing your emotions, understanding your emotions, labeling them, expressing your emotions, and regulating them. Now, last session, I told you that we were going to focus on understanding people's emotions and recognizing them. So that is what we're focusing on today, okay? Now let's get started. The first way you can recognize other people's emotions is through facial expressions. Yes. Now, not all emotions are easy to read. If you don't know the situation and you don't know what's happening, it may be hard to read people's facial expressions and know what's going on. So the better you know the person, the easier you know what's going on, how they feeling. You can recognize their facial expressions. But if you don't know the person too well, you can really walk into a situation that you don't know what's going on. And when we misread emotions, that's when misunderstandings happen. And the last thing we want is a misunderstanding. Recognizing emotions, that is a skill, okay? And that takes time to develop. So the more you do this, the more you do what we talk about, the more comfortable you'll be with recognizing people's emotions and understanding how people are feeling just by their facial expressions. Now, the video that you're about to see, I'm gonna tell you up front, it is not the most exciting video in the world, but it really tells you what you need to know about facial expressions. So make sure you pay attention, okay? So let's get into it now.
I'm Vanessa Van Edwards, and I'm a behavioral investigator. Today, I want to talk to you about the 7 universal facial expressions. Dr. Paul Ekman is the one who discovered that our facial expressions show our emotions. And he discovered that across genders, across races, across cultures, there are 7 universal facial expressions. I think that when you read these facial expressions, you can discover and detect the hidden emotions under the words. So you ready to learn them? Let's start with the first one. The first one is disgust. So disgust is the face you make when you smell something bad. So you can try this with me if you want. Just show the upper teeth like this and crinkle your nose up and make that gesture. That is disgust. Now, people make this not only when they taste or smell something bad, but also when they don't really like something. So if you ask a teenager or a friend, hey, what do you think of that new girl? And she's like, you might know what she actually thinks before she says something. The next one is anger. So this one is really important to know before you get into a big fight. Anger is when you see these 2 vertical lines appear between your eyebrows. So with me, if you can pull your eyebrows down and these 2 vertical lines appear, and then harden your lower lids and tense your lips. That is an angry microexpression. The funny thing is when you do it right, you know you start to feel just a little bit irritated. That's called the facial feedback hypothesis. So not only do our emotions cause our face, but our face also causes our emotions. The next one is sadness. This is the hardest microexpression to fake. So ready? Try it with me. This time we're gonna make a frown. So take the corners of your mouth and pull them down as far as they're gonna go. Then I want you to puff out your lower lip. Even if it quivers, that's really good. Now pinch the inner corners of your eyebrows together so it looks like this. If you start to tear up, if your eyes start to water, that means you got it right, because that is the precursor expression to crying. The next one is happiness. It's my favorite microexpression. So most people think that happiness is just a smile. But actually, the only true indicator of happiness is when these upper cheek muscles are engaged. And only 1 in 10 people can consciously activate those muscles. So what I want you to do is make a smile, and then I want you to go as far up your face as you possibly can so you get these nice apples in your cheeks. If you really want to feel it, you can put a pencil in between your teeth and spread your cheeks as wide as possible. It looks like this. That's that nice engagement. You'll know a fake expression, a fake happiness expression, if someone goes, "Yeah, I'm so happy for you," but that smile never quite reaches their eyes. The next expression is fear. So fear is what we do when we're trying to protect ourselves. So let's say that you're hiking in Forest Park and you see a snake. Your eyelids and your eyebrows jump out of the way so you can take in as much as you possibly can. So you open your eyes really wide, you open your eyebrows, and then you go, that is the fear expression. So when you hold that fear expression, you're able to take in oxygen in case you have to fight or flight, and see your environment around you. So you pull your eyebrows up and widen your eyes, you'll actually begin to feel a little bit anxious. The really close micro expression to fear is surprise. Surprise is a little bit different though. You raise your eyebrows as far up your forehead as you can, and then you drop your mouth open. It's the longest of the micro expressions. So it looks like this. So watch the difference. Fear has flat eyebrows, whereas surprise has upside down U's. Watch, this is surprise, and this is fear. That's really important for parents. If you're asking someone, did you know about that incident at school? The difference between no and no is a very, very different set of questions. The last one is contempt, and I think this is the most powerful of the micro expressions. It is simply a one-sided mouth raise. Looks like a smirk. Either side of the mouth, any kind of asymmetry means disdain, pessimism, or hatred, and it's the one you really want to watch out for. So if anyone says something positive along with that smirk, you know you have something to watch out for. Here's a little test for you. Now I want to see if you can guess which micro expression I'm doing. Are you ready? Those are the 7 micro expressions, and I can't wait for you to start seeing them in your own life.
Now, I am the first person to admit I'm still learning how to control my facial expressions. Even when I was in high school and middle school, my teachers and everybody said that I need to learn how to control my facial expressions because you always see it on my face before anything comes out my mouth. Okay, so if somebody say something that I think is crazy, my face is gonna be like, and sometimes that could be offensive to people. So you really have to be mindful about how your face is looking when people are talking and when things are going on. So it's really important that we practice our facial expressions. Everything she did in the video, that may have been an exaggerated version, but it's really some good stuff. And it really taught you ways that you can decipher facial expressions, if you will. So that's all I have to say about facial expressions. Let us talk about tone. This is another big thing. Tone. I always tell people it's not necessarily what you say, but it's how you say it. So I can be saying something like, LeBron is my favorite basketball player, which he isn't, okay? My favorite basketball player is Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, okay? But anyway, let's just say I was saying LeBron is my favorite basketball player. There's nothing wrong with that sentence, right? Nothing offensive, nothing that says I'm in a bad mood. Regular sentence. But if I said it like, LeBron is my favorite basketball player, yeah, so what? Oof. Whoa, sis, calm down. Like, what's the pressure? You feel me? So same sentence, different tone. So that lets you know that she not in the best mood. You feel me? Like something is a little wrong, something's a little off. So tone is definitely a way that you can or people express themselves and express their emotions. Now, I'm seeing ways that people express themselves, right? But it's not a one-stop thing, okay? Just because somebody's tone is like that doesn't mean you can decipher their whole mood, everything that's going on. You know, that's just one piece of the puzzle. So all of these things together can really help you recognize people's emotions, okay? But don't take it as a one and done deal. Just because their tone sounds angry to you doesn't necessarily mean that they're upset. They could just be frustrated. Get what I'm saying? So it's not the done deal just because their tone sounds angry. So these are just ways to try to understand. You're trying to understand what's happening. Another thing that you can do, probably the most important way that you can understand people's emotions and recognize them, is to communicate. Communication, long word, but we all know what it is, right? Now, everybody can, not everybody, scratch that. A lot of people can communicate, but do a lot of people communicate well? That, sir, is the question, or ma'am. So one way that you can communicate well when it comes to understanding people's emotions is through I statements. Miss Shantae, what the heck is an I statement? So glad you asked. Now, when you do, or when you say a statement that starts with you, usually you're blaming the other person, you're attacking the other person, you're making judgments about the other person. Maybe not on purpose, right? But you are. When you start with you, you are so mean. You do this and you do that, and that is literally blaming and attacking the other person. When you do I statements, you are saying how you feel and then some other stuff. Nobody can take away how you feel. That is your experience, okay? So when you say, I feel as if blah, 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 nobody can take that away from you. That is your personal experience. An I statement is a way to be assertive and strong when you're angry or upset without being mean, okay? And that's a lot of times when we do you statements, it come off mean, to be quite frank. So there are 3 parts to I statement. First part, say how you're feeling, okay? Saying how we feel lets the other person know how what they did affected us. So let's use the example, you're mean, right? Easy statement, but it tells me nothing. If I just tell somebody you're mean, that doesn't solve anything. That doesn't tell me anything. It just means I'm getting called mean. I feel sad when you say things about me that's not true. That is how you're feeling. You're saying how you're feeling when they did whatever they did, right? So that's the first part. You say how you're feeling. I feel frustrated when you don't listen to me, right? You say how you feel and what they did to make you feel like that. And that's actually part 1 and part 2. So you say how you feel and you say what happened. I feel angry when you do my hair too tight. Whatever. You say how you feel, you say what happened, okay? So that's the first 2 parts. Say how you feel, you say what happened. The third part, you say why the feeling connects to what happened. Like, why should I care? So, for example, I feel frustrated when you don't listen to me because, and that is the key to know that you're on part 3. When you get to that because, that is how you know you're at part 3. I feel frustrated when you don't listen to me because it makes me feel like you're not hearing what I'm saying. Whatever. Another one, I feel angry or I feel sad when you say things about me that's not true, because then people will believe these untrue things. Whatever. So you get what I'm saying? Number 1, say what you're feeling. Number 2, say what happened. Number 3, connect the feeling to what happened. Just that I statement in itself can really help situations It can really help misunderstandings not happen, right? It can give clarity to a situation. You don't have to argue to get your point across. You don't have to yell to get your point across. So I statements really does a nice job with getting your point across without the yelling and the arguing and the hoop and the holler. And you don't have to do all that. Thank you for joining me in session 3, and I will see you soon. Peace.